1983 sparked the release of this particular game. It was a game that I recall playing as the very first game in my life of gaming. Played this during times where my mom was hanging out with the soon-to-be next husband for her. He was the postman, and they got to know each other, and we would go over there, and his daughter, she was a few years older, I want to say 6 or 7 years older, she had an Atari, and I got to get introduced to gaming because of them. Do I rate it? Of course. We would love to schedule another one. I can put a poll up right away, and we can schedule that. It's up to you. But this is the game that I recall playing as my first game. So this is known as TAZ. And the object is collect without getting hit by the dynamite burgers to score points. And shout out to who would be for about, 16, 18 years, something like that. My older stepsister, who would go on to play games like Super Mario 3, because we ended up getting a Nintendo, and she introduced me to other games. 4,300 bit donation, hip hip hooray! Thank you for that, Rated. Jumping us up to schedule another Andrew episode. So I will put a poll out tomorrow and have everyone vote, and then we'll schedule. So thank you, Rated, for that. I truly appreciate it. And shout out to her, though, because I would spend many nights with the door to my room, because it was in our rec area, because our bedrooms were in the lower floor, the basement, if you will. And I'd spent many nights with the door cracked open, listening, because she would stay up late, again, being years older, listening to her play Mario games and other Nintendo games. And just, that relaxed me, hearing the sounds of Super Mario 3 and other various games. And this was very early 90s, because they got married, my mom and my stepdad at the time, I think 91. And it was a short period of time after my actual parents got divorced. We moved into our house where we were at in 90 or 91. I think it was fall of 90. I can't remember. And they stayed together until like 2009. And you saw the burgers change to root beer there. So this changes and it gets more challenging. And these are the platforms that I was hinting at too. This was on the Atari 2600, playable obviously in other models. You have really vague memories of this game. All it was the single joystick with the red button, and you would just move it around or up and down. A little bit more, oddly enough to say, it was a little bit more responsive with that controller back then. But yeah, there was a racing game, Pitfall. What were some of the other games? There's a Fire Brigade game, Xenophobe. You have no memories of this. Trying to think what else. But yeah, I know there are other ones that she had that we played. I ended up having a collection that I inherited from them, of around 137 games. If you want to check out the collection, wasn't even a twinkle in your daddy's eyes yet. Yeah, if you want to check out the collection that I had, it is on our Instagram. It's somewhere early on in the Instagram posts, but there's a collection of all the retro stuff. So I had the 2600 and the 78, I think. I don't know if I had the 52. But I had like 15, 16 different controls, over 130 some odd games for the various models. And yes, I did have E.T., as well as a couple Star Wars games. A lot of famous ones. I mean, Mario, the original Mario Bros. Not the one that you would know from the NES. The one that was like a mini game in Super Mario 3. That was actually a cartridge game on the Atari. But yeah, this was early memories. I remember spending a lot of time and watching her and learning from her how to play it, and then playing it myself. So there we go, root beer again. I don't remember what the other ones ended up being. I don't remember how far we would get, but I just remember we'd challenge for points and see who would get farther. But yeah, one of the earliest memories in gaming right here was TAZ on the Atari. Super simple. Not a lot of sound effects to it. It's just one of those games. Like, gaming was so simple back then. And oddly entertaining and amusing. One of your earliest memories of gaming was River Raid. I remember River City Ransom. I don't know if I know River Raid. But yeah. Rated, thank you. Huge thank you for your continued support. River Raid was an Atari game. You want me to see if I can if I have it on here? Anyone care to hang out a few more minutes and see if I have it? All right. Give me a second. I'll check it out, and I might have it.